extraordinarily busy, and our time is really scarce. And so what I want to talk to you about today are some simple things that you can do to start getting more stuff done in your life. Now, to frame this, I started thinking about how do we prepare for our lives, whether it's our career or our personal lives. How much time do we spend preparing? Well, an athlete retires at age 33 on average. A business professional, however, retires at age 65 on average. So you're talking about a 15-year career perhaps versus probably a 40-year career. Well, let's look at how these people train for what they're going to spend their time doing. Athletes spend 90% of their time training and only 10% of their time performing. For business professionals, on the other hand, we probably spend 40 to 60 hours a week performing, right? How much time do you think you spend training and investing in yourself? So our careers are about 3 or 4 times as long as an athlete's, yet we're spending significantly less time preparing so that when we do perform, we're performing at our maximum and we're performing at our peak. And so what I want to talk to you about is some simple strategies that you can use to turn this 10% around. And here's the thing. It's not about thinking big. It's about thinking small. Very few people will tell you that. But the idea here is that if you focus on some small things, it can lead out to be a really, really big and positive impact. It reminds you of this story that you may have heard, right? If I could give you a penny today that's going to double every day for a month, or you could get $1 million, which would you choose? The doubling pennies or the $1 million? Well, the penny that doubles every day for a month actually works out to be almost $5 million. So hopefully you said the pennies. And so the thing is, investing in yourself works the same way, and the math is the same. That small changes that you make can have big impacts over time because you're getting the results from them over and over and over and over again. And so what is the number one thing that prevents us from doing what we love, right? Whether it's going on a vacation, enjoying a hobby that we like to do, exercising, or even taking the time to invest in our training, right? It's time. We're all starved for time. And so what I'm going to share with you is how you can start getting time back in your life. And it's about using technology. Now, technology isn't about using technology for the sake of technology. It's about how it can actually impact your life in a positive way. And by making these small changes, by learning new things and using new tools, we can start to have big impacts on our lives. So let's say that a task takes you 2 minutes longer to complete and you do it twice a day. So you spend 2 minutes doing something that you don't really need to spend and you do it twice a day. That works out to 1,460 minutes a year. Okay, so 4 minutes by doing something inefficiently is 1,460 minutes a year, which is 24 hours a year, which is almost a half a week of work, right? Depending on how many hours a week you work. So you can start to see how small changes can make a big difference. What about if it's 5 minutes? Imagine if you could use a technology to save yourself 5 minutes a day. That would work out to 1,825 minutes a year, or 30 hours a year. Think of how much time you could get back if you started to do things like this. So the key here is to think about using new technologies to develop habits as a part of your work process that give you benefits over time. And so the first thing I want to talk about is email. I'm sure everybody spends more time on the drain suck known as email than they would like. But here's the thing. Email doesn't have to be so bad. The first step is to stop checking it every single time it goes off. So let's just say, for example, on average right now, you check your email 10 times a day. Okay? And you spend 1 minute just checking it, just the time it takes to load it and take a look at what you're doing. Let's just say that takes about a minute. Forget how long it takes to respond to the emails. If you could just cut 4 of those email checks out of a day, so you stop checking email 10 times and only check it 6, right? That still is like once every other hour. That seems probably sufficient. That gets you 24 hours a year back, right? Just by cutting 4 times that you're checking email. Some other strategies that can help you manage email. There's something called Inbox Zero. I'd recommend, if email is a monster in your life, like it is in mine, inboxzero.com. It's an idea created by Merlin Mann. And the idea is leveraging free technology tools that are out there to help manage your email so it takes up less of your time. Another awesome tool that I started using to manage email, it's this thing called Boomerang, and it works for Gmail, if anyone uses Gmail. Here's what it does. You just upload it onto your internet browser, and I can schedule messages to send later, right? So if somebody says, hey, can you get back to me next week? Well, I can do it right now, and then I don't have to think about it. The other really cool thing that you can do is you can boomerang a message back to yourself if you don't get a response in a certain amount of time. Right? So you know how you always have those people that you're waiting from and it's difficult to manage and you spend time following up? Well, now you can just boomerang it back to you. And this is something that's completely free to use. And so by looking at some of these simple and free technologies and how you can apply them to your life, you can start making these small changes that give you a couple minutes that start to give you hours, if not weeks, over the course of a year. Another example, how much time do you spend just looking for different pieces of information? Whether it's searching the web or trying to find a note that you wrote down somewhere, remembering a bottle of wine that you had at a restaurant that you liked. Well, there's an application for free that helps you manage and remember information. It's an app called Evernote. And they have a browser version, a desktop version, and multiple other versions on mobile devices. What it allows you to do is capture any kind of information. You can take a picture of a slide if you wanted to. So if you wanted to remember Evernote and you used it, you could just take a picture of this. But you can take pictures of things. You can put voice recordings on. You can capture web pages and share it with it. And what it does is it indexes all of the information for you so that you can then find it at a later point in time. So that awesome bottle of wine you had with dinner, you take a picture of it, store it in your Evernote, and then you can look it up anytime you want. It even goes a step further, though. It actually will go in and read the text in your photos, so then you can search by text that's in the pictures. Right? So imagine if you took a picture of a slide and you remembered later, Krista was talking about social media, I want to find that slide. You could just search social media and that slide would show up for you. Right? How much time could something like this save you? Easily 5 minutes a day, right? That's getting you closer to all of the time that you're losing. Here's another example. This is a service called TungleMe. It's, again, totally free to use. And what you do is you upload your calendar to it. How much time do you spend going back and forth with people trying to schedule meetings, right? Oh, are you available tomorrow? Well, I don't know. What about the next day? Well, I can do 10 to 2. Well, what about 3, right? All of that time we waste, and again, it's just minutes. All of these minutes are what adds up to hours over time. So using TungleMe, what it does is it posts your availability online, and people can just go in and schedule themselves with you when you're available. That can get you 5 minutes back a day. This is another great example that I love. Totally free to use. Again, there's a paid version. It's called Oh Don't Forget. And you can send messages to yourself or other people that you love or hate to remind them to do things. Right? How awesome is that for free? So I could put in someone's cell phone number, a date and time, and a text message. Don't forget to pick up milk on your way home. Hey, remember we have the dentist. If you're late meeting me for drinks, I might murder you. Right? So you can send yourself messages or other people messages for free. How much time could that save you? Or stress, worrying about whether or not you'll remember something or whether someone else will. And again, this is something that's completely free to use. And so what I'm encouraging you to do here is if you can just find one way to save 5 minutes a day every single month, you can actually get back 21,900 minutes a year. Okay, so think about that. Every month, maybe it's on the first of the month or whenever it's convenient for you, you make the choice to invest, maybe it's 2 or 3 hours of your time to learn something new, like Evernote or Boomerang, or something that will save you that 5 minutes a day. And if you make that choice every month to start saving time, at the end of the year, you're saving yourself 21,900 minutes, which works out to 350 hours a year. I am not a mathematician, and I checked this like 10 times. Here's the thing, though. It takes the time and commitment up front. So you have to make the choice to commit to this up front. There's no P0x, right? It's P90x. So you have to make the choice to commit to the challenge. You have to make the choice to commit to the monthly challenge to start getting results. So if you could save yourself 30 hours a year, isn't that worth the 2 to 5 hour investment up front to learn a new skill? So my challenge for you, and what I would like to leave you with, is to choose one technology every single month that you think could save you 5 minutes a day, and over time you'll start to see dramatic improvements in your life, and you'll be able to do what you do best even better. Thank you very much.